Welcome back everyone. This is gonna be the last video of my short series, and it will focus on what should an observer bring to his job if he does it. In the sense of game knowledge, does he need to be a player himself or could he just be any person? And what makes sense and what not. I'm gonna have some just gameplay in the background for this because I'm just gonna talk a bit about the topic and my opinion on it, and you can then comment below and agree or disagree. However, I want to just start off by saying that in my opinion a good observer should have played the game himself and maybe even casted some games. It doesn't matter on what level, it could also be like semi-pro or just rather casual level, but he should have experienced every part of the game and the broadcasting part that he works for. Let me elaborate on that, on why it's really important. So let's talk about playing the game first. Why should he have played the game, or she, obviously? It's pretty simple in my opinion. If you played the game, you will have some game knowledge, and the more game knowledge you have and the higher you were in skill rating and the more experienced you are in the game, the more you have of that, the better you can adapt it onto your observing. So what do I mean by that? Well, if you know the game and know how it plays out, know what combinations of ults can be used, and so on, you can somehow foresee a bit what is going to happen. And this will help you a lot in the observing, because if you always have to react to what's happening, you will always be behind on the observing. But if you're excuse me, if you're like ahead in time and in mind of what's going to happen next, you won't be caught by surprise when it's happening, and maybe even be one step ahead and catch it before it's happening so everyone else can see it. For example, the easiest things probably is stuff like ults, like a Nano Blade. When the Ana has a Nano and the Genji has a Blade, then you know, next fight probably there's gonna be a Nano Blade. So what are you gonna do in that case as a spectator? Well, you're probably gonna jump on the Genji once he dashes up and gets the Nano. But what are other options you could do? Does the enemy team has, for example, an Ana as well? You could jump on her whilst the Genji dashes up and see if she hits Sleep Dart and then go back to the Genji. Do they have Reinhardt or First Shutter that you might want to see in counteraction? And here comes the part that you always need to, again, keep in mind, what does the audience want to see? The audience doesn't want to see 100 Genji Blades in a row. Like when he's shown 1 or 2 Genji Blades, maybe show the other side as well once and see if they can hit the Earth Shatter or the Sleep Dart. You can still swap back to Genji, of course, but you need to bring in some variety. And your game knowledge will help you analyze situations and see what different things you can offer the audience, and that will make your whole broadcast like more alive and not always the same things repeating over and over again. So that's the game knowledge part. Now, I also mentioned that you should have watched games yourself once, and that's pretty obvious. So as why? Because if you've watched tournaments yourself, you know what you would expect to see. And the thing is, there are many different points of opinions who wants to see what. Like, the big part obviously wants to see flashy plays, but there are also players that would really appreciate if they saw some support play here and there and saw maybe that Ana Sleep or whatever coming in. So keep in mind that you want to give the audience different angles of the picture and not always the same page of the book again and again, because that's just straight up boring and too repetitive. That's the spectator part to talk about. And the last part is really the cost part. Like, I've costed some games myself casually in Switzerland here from some tournaments, and what I noted is, like, in most of those cases I did the camera work myself. Sometimes I let others do it because that's just how it worked. But what I noted myself when I did it on my own is that I could really rely on my game knowledge that I can cast well, because I would do good camera work. I could know what I expect from myself to show myself to cast. Now this sounds a bit creepy because I'm alone, but you need to imagine it like that. A caster can only be good if you do your good job. If you fuck up, well, the caster can be goddamn good, but he will still not have something good to work with. So, what does that mean? Here's the part of all the things I said so far in the video that play into this. So, you need good game knowledge so that you know what's gonna happen next and what you need to show. Then, what did you show already this game? Did you show the Zarya ult every time? Did you show all the Genji blades? So maybe it's time for an Analyzer once. Diversity. And part 3 is what is good for the caster. You need to give him something to work with. You don't want him to be on the Zarya with energy, 0 energy all the fucking game, because he can't do shit with that. He cannot work with it. For example, right now you would have a perfect view on the Ana, like just follow her as she flanks up with the Soldier and goes for the Nanovisor. And you see that obviously in the spectator because they both have ults, and then you just follow them and set it up for the caster, because then he can be like, oh yeah, look, and we see their team has an Nanovisor coming up, so we see the Ana and the Soldier flanking around, and if you don't give him that opportunity, he won't be able to cast it for all the viewers, and he'll just be like, yeah, I think they have Nanovisor, but I actually don't know where the Ana and the Soldier are, so maybe we'll see that coming up. So you really need to do good job in all those 3 parts. In game knowledge, knowing what's gonna happen and adapt that to your observing. In being a spectator yourself in some sense, and ask yourself, what do I want to see? Maybe I should change things up once. And the 3rd part, being a good observer, so the caster can do a good job and appreciate your job. With that being said, I would like to round up all the series. It was a short one, was a rather spontaneous project of myself. Feel free to comment if you liked it or not. I'm sorry that I coughed all the time. Thank you anyways for watching. I hope it helped to some of you. Would really appreciate that, because I like to help people, and yeah, maybe see you in a game here and then. Thanks again for watching. Stay tuned for more stuff.